The time is 3:15 a.m. July 15th, 2017, and it is provided everything is as planned. The beginning of a very, very long quest. What I am going to do is I am going to try to beat, or play, beat, and 100% complete as much as possible every single PlayStation 1 game. I'm going to say right up front that this was inspired by a speedrunner named the Mexican Runner who has played through and beaten to the best that you can every single NES game. He even taught himself how to play piano to complete Miracle Piano as best as possible, which took him 91 hours.
10 dragons in the Artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
This is obviously going to be a long and ongoing process.
That's all I can tell you.
There are about 1,280 PlayStation 1 games released in North America. And that number is a bit nebulous because that number also includes like director's cuts, sports games with multiple editions. So, and I don't know how those are going to work, but other than that, yes, I'm going to be playing every single game for the PlayStation released in North America and try to 100% complete it. That includes the bad games like Bubsy 3D, Rascal, Cyberdeck. It includes little kids games like the Sesame Street games, and it also includes sports games, everything, the entire list. It's probably going to take me like a decade, which is fine. And I decided to start with Spyro because Spyro the Dragon, believe it or not, is actually the very first game I remember playing. Even though I had a Super Nintendo, so it's probably not actually the first game that I've ever played. But I feel confident that I won't have much trouble here, and it's definitely a good game to start on. It's a very memorable game on the PS1. The entire Spyro series is very memorable. When it gets to the later games, not always for the right reason, but still. And while I could just play through this and not record anything, like not record my audio, I thought it would be interesting to relay my experiences as I do this. I'm not trying to speedrun anything, although I'd like to do as little, keep it as low time as possible. Sorry, but believe it or not, I actually recorded a complete playthrough of this game earlier today, but the audio was so unbalanced because I didn't properly check out fraps and how it's dealt with the in-game audio in my own recording. Oh yes, and we should establish some ground rules. Rule number 1, I can use emulators. I am using an emulator because it would be a little bit obtuse for me to track down every single PlayStation game ever. But I can't use save states and all that kind of stuff. I can use passwords if they're meant to continue the game, like if I run out of lives I can use a password to continue there. I cannot use a password to get to a point in the game I haven't already gotten to. And if you're wondering, these videos aren't going to have any fancy editing. It's just me playing through no matter how much I fuck up, no matter how often I die. Just, you're gonna get the raw upload compressed. Maybe that way I can update this a little bit more than I do on other things on Challenge Accepted, because I have not been good at that, and I am sorry. My mind goes in all kinds of weird directions. I'm a little bit iffy on guides at the moment. I know that I'm absolutely not going to have a problem using a guide if there are secrets that I cannot backtrack to. Like, in Tomb Raider, if I missed a secret, I would have to restart the entire game, so I would have no trouble using a guide there. But in a game like Myst, where it's the point to figure things out, then yeah, I probably won't use a guide there. And I want to say immediately the game after this I'm probably going to be playing is Crash Bandicoot. But here's how I think I want things to work. While I play that game, this one's going to go up, and I'd like the audience to suggest whatever game they want. Underrated games, games they really love, games they hate. Because I guess the point of this, I don't know. Like, I really do not know. Okay, you want the point? I'm bored. I'm bored as fuck. And when I get bored, I go on giant-ass projects. I mean, it's a bit more complicated than that, but I'm a kind of person who, when he gets the random idea to, like, write a book or start an online review series, just throwing his opinion into the wind, instead of that thing that most people have that makes them ask, why would I ever do that? I have this little voice that basically says, why wouldn't I do that? And honestly, I think I prefer life this way. And I'm not talking about, like, hurting other people or acting impulsively or hurting yourself. That's bad. But, you know, on a whim, I decided to write a book, and I wrote a book. On a whim, I decided to upload reviews, and look where I am now. I have a career doing it. On a whim, I decided to play every single PlayStation game to completion. That's the kind of person I am. And you know what? I think I really do prefer it this way, because even if I fail, and believe it or not, there have been a lot of things that I have failed at. For example, but it's almost always worth it, because, at least with me personally, I always regret the things that I've never attempted or the things that I've given up on, more than the things that I've completed, more than things that I've gotten to completion, even if those things are not good. For example, one of my passion projects is growing around, and even if that fails, along the way I have met some of the best friends that I have ever known, I have learned how to draw, and I have written an entire book. Even if it fails, burns, and crashes horribly, becomes the most abysmal thing ever, those things cannot be taken from me. You know, it's not about ambition, it's just about doing shit. You know, stop saying no to yourself and experiment with what you can do in your life. You never know what's going to happen. It's going to take you to exciting places. Or it might not, but at the end, you'll know. Another reason that I'm playing Spyro first is because it's one of the easier games. It's one of the reasons that I did pick the PlayStation over other consoles. Like, on previous systems, games weren't about beating them. For the Super Nintendo and the NES, games were meant to be played and not beaten. So, towards the end, or all throughout, they could throw this hard-as-shit bullshit at you. As long as the game was fun to play, that was okay. They didn't ever really have to focus on the end. That is why there is not one NES game that actually has a decent ending. But by the time they got to the PlayStation, games became more story-focused, more about getting to the end, seeing it through. They did retain some of the old styles with things like collectibles, but they were much more willing to let the game end, let the player actually get there. That's not to say that there aren't some absurdly, annoyingly difficult games on the PlayStation, because there absolutely are. For example, Tomb Raider 3. Tomb Raider 3 is one of the most difficult games that I have ever played, and not for any of the good reasons. And that's gonna be a fun one to get to. If you don't know, it's a game that has trial and error death traps. It's very difficult in many areas, and you have limited save gems, which is fun. Let's take on Toasty. Now, I want to reiterate that this isn't a Let's Play. It's not a guide. If you want a Let's Play, I would advise you to check out a different video. Because I'm going to be talking over cutscenes. I'm going to be trying to skip as much as possible. Well, not exactly skip as much as possible, but... yeah, if you don't know, in the first game, Spyro can roll. It was removed in the subsequent games because it is quite useless. The biggest problem is you need to be stopped to move. I can't go from running into a roll. And many of the enemies in the game, they don't really warrant it. I mean, the cougars and the shepherds, yeah. It can really help you if you're having trouble with them. But other than that, it's probably not going to be useful for the rest of the game. And as you can see, I'm fighting the first boss level. Almost. One thing about this game is where R1 and L1 are is the roll, but I keep thinking that's the camera because that's how it is in almost every other 3D platformer at the time. And I think that's how it is in the later games too, so... hopefully that won't happen. I'll get more used to the controls as we go along. I love the music in this game, by the way. It's probably my favorite soundtrack of the series. And as we can see, Sparks is dead. Now, usually when that happens, I'm actually going to intentionally kill myself, because Sparks picks up the gems, making things go smoother and go faster. Like, Sparks was an ingenious invention. This game would be so frustrating without him. See, Navi? That's how it's done. You actually do something for the player instead of annoying them to no end. I'm referencing a Zelda game, but there are no Zelda games on the PlayStation. Well, except for Alundra and Alundra 2. But we'll get to that when we get to that. It is very annoying to not have Sparks, but the boss levels do not have any fodder. Let's see. And we're going to Stonehill. This is my least favorite Artisans level. It's actually one of my least favorite levels in the entire game, because it's not much more than an open field. And I almost am always forgetting where gems are here. Yeah. Anyone who's played Spyro knows that the most frustrating part is getting to the end of the level and having 399 gems out of 400. And chances are, even though I'm trying to complete this as fast as possible, we're probably going to run into that issue more than one occasion. I did say that I'm trying to complete this as fast as possible, but I'm not exactly speedrunning it. You see, I have a lot of games to go. Like, a lot. I'm sure there are some cheap kids games that I can complete in 10 minutes, but there are also, like, long-winded RPGs. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, for instance. I'm going to need to get 100% in that, which is basically grinding against... It's going to be hell, and it's probably going to take me hundreds of hours. The ultimate point is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. Also, I will say about suggesting future games. You can suggest whatever you'd like, as long as it's actually a PlayStation game that I haven't covered yet. what I do ask is that you vary up the genres a bit. You know, if I'm playing a 3D platformer, try to keep the next suggestion to something other than a 3D platformer. I don't want to get burned out doing the same thing again and again and again, even though 3D platformers are my favorite genre. I want to space them out. Speaking of which, I am going to try to space out the Spyro games too. But there are like 50 billiards games on the PlayStation for some reason. And a lot of bowling games too. If I did them all in a row, I'd go insane. And if you're wondering, I know I am going to definitely be playing a lot of these games blind. And me figuring them out, going through the game, that's going to be added to my time. It's all going to be a part of the process. I know about... Let's see. I played through already previously about maybe 50 PlayStation games. I've definitely played a lot more. Just not to completion. I put a list on screen, but like I said, I don't want to do any fancy editing. It's just me playing through the game. And, yeah. But I will definitely be forward if I've played a game or not, or if I've gone through half of a game. Like, even though I said Alundra was a Zelda game for the PlayStation, I've only played the first 10 minutes of the first Alundra. I just know of it. And it's definitely something that I want to experience, because it seems like a fun game. It's just that most 2D games on this platform got massacred. See, this is what I don't like about this level. It's just... I'm glad the future Spyro games didn't have this. If you're wondering about my favorite Spyro game, it goes back and forth between 2 and 3. My biggest problem with 2 is that it felt too short. This game has 1,400 treasure and 80 dragons. Spyro 2 has, well, number one, it has 3 worlds instead of 5 or 6. It has 10,000 treasures, and it has only 64 orbs, and it doesn't have a third collectible, the eggs. I know that might not be much, but as a kid, it did kind of bum me out, and as an adult even, it does feel shorter than the other ones, to the point where it's kind of a fault. As for the third one, though, my biggest problem with that is that it tends to reuse a lot of assets from the first and second game. It tries to get away with it by being nostalgic, and most of the extra characters, you know, everyone else is complaining with it, they make you move way too fucking slow, especially Agent 9. But I will get to that when I get to that. I'm also going to be trying to do series in order. There we go. Like, I'm going to do a Crash 1, Crash 2, Crash 3. The only exception off the top of my head is probably Gex. I'm going to save the first Gex for last because it's my least favorite. Also, yes, the PlayStation 1 has a lot of, like, arcade ports and collections, like the Intellivision collection. I'm going to have to try to figure out what the end state is for those games. For this game in particular, it's me 100% completing it, getting everything in Nasty's loot. That is the point at which this game ends for me. Also, I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Most games that don't have 100% completions, I'll count as the end time when I beat the final boss, not after, like, the end credits or anything. If you want to see the actual endings, you'll probably have to look them up on YouTube. Somewhere else on YouTube. Entering Town Square, my favorite Artisans level. The music here is just so cheery. And again, maybe it's only my favorite because this was included in the demo. So I got to experience this a lot more than the other levels in Artisans. So as I've said, there are 80 dragons in this game. Actually, there are 74, but functionally there are 80 dragons in the game. Some of them you have to rescue twice. Because they're dumbasses that go after Nasty Nork and get stuck again. But it should be, fun. Going through levels like the Haunted Towers and Treetops. Then again, I did them earlier today, so I know what I'm doing. Yeah, this is going to be the first time in my life where I'm going to beat Spyro the Dragon, the first one, twice in one 24-hour period. I wonder if there's like a record for that, most playthroughs of a game in one day. This wouldn't be the game I would choose for that. I like it, but I don't know if I want to do this all day. And there are other games I could probably go faster with, like Crash Bandicoot, maybe, or even Ape Escape. I really do want to play Ape Escape, but when you play it on an emulator, the controls usually fuck up and freak out. Like right now, whenever I try to play it, because of its weird control scheme for the original PlayStation, requiring use of the analog control, one of my left button makes Spike both jump and attack, and that is the only way to attack and use your net. And it is literally unplayable that way. I tried. I gave it an honest try. I couldn't get past the first level. I'll figure something out, though, when we get to that. The PlayStation, though, has a lot of games that are really weird with the emulator, because they start getting copy protection, some crazy copy protection later in their life. Like the Spyro 3, for instance. If on certain emulators, like, moneybags will disappear and not allow you to buy things you need to progress, you'll go through random levels and the gems will just randomly not be there. Speaking of that, oh, there we go. So it would be impossible for me to complete. I think most of these can be circumvented if you use the actual disc, and in that case I will definitely have to wait to buy the games before that happens. Yeah, we are done with Artisans. Just took me, what, 20 minutes? 25? That is longer than I expected. For me to get 100%, it doesn't take me too long, only a few hours. And yes, I can legitimately do it in one sitting. which means that Spyro 2 will be even quicker. If you're wondering though, yes, I am going to play through Spyro 2 twice. One as a normal playthrough, and one with the Flame Breath. And the only reason for that is because I really, really like Spyro 2. Also, some of the glitches are really fun. I like to challenge myself to see how far I can get without using money bags at all. And also, one thing I want to say, a lot of people who criticize Enter the Dragonfly for some of its glitches, like swimming in air. Don't get me wrong, Enter the Dragonfly is a fucking awful game. An absolute mess. It runs about like 12 frames per second. But the swimming in air glitch that I see it get criticized for a lot, you could do that easily in Spyro 2, probably even easier. It only took me about a minute after I figured out how to do it. Like, Spyro 2 has a lot of fun glitches, more so than Spyro 1 for some reason. Like, the most famous of them is the double jump, which I mastered fairly quickly. Like, if I were to speedrun a game, it would probably be that one, because you can get really creative with some of the glitches. Magnus. Ice Cavern. This is my favorite level in the Peacekeepers, so I think I'll do it first. Which is weird, because I usually hate ice levels. I guess it helps that in this level there is no ice physics. At least for you. Also, yes, this is how you get those. And because of that, I usually do this level backwards. And no, me finding all the extra lives in the game, that's not a part of this. I mean, I probably will along the way, just because I know where they are. Not very useful. This game isn't very hard, and I don't think I've ever gotten a game over, maybe when I was very young. And maybe on some of the insane levels, like Treetops and Misty Bog. But we'll get to those when we get to those. That reminds me of a complaint I wanted to make about video game difficulty. You know what I hate about a lot of modern games? Not that they're too easy, that there's basically this dichotomy. Either games are incredibly, insultingly easy, or because of that, they go quote-unquote old school, hard as shit. To the point of being completely 100% unfair. Reasonable challenge has kind of been 100% forgotten. Which makes me sad, because that's very important to make a game entertaining. I guess that's why everyone only thinks of... I guess that's why everyone calls it a game where you don't win instantly, basically Dark Souls. Like, you've probably heard the meme of everyone just saying Crash Bandicoot Remake is the Dark Souls of platformers, which, no, it's not. It's really, really not. You want the Dark Souls of platformers? I don't think it's been made yet, but there's the later levels of Psychonauts and Super Mario Sunshine going for all of the shines. Those are much harder than Crash Bandicoot. And even then, I would not call it Dark Souls. But there are a lot of things about modern games that bug me, like innovation. I don't think we've had a lot of innovation lately. I'm gonna sound like a dick for saying this, but even with a lot of the indie games, most of them are basically just remaking a game that used to exist, or that already exists. You know, Stardew Valley is my favorite game of all time, but I wouldn't call much of it very new or unique. And even games that are heavily crowdfunded, like Yooka-Laylee or Mighty Number 9, good or not, they're all just trying to be things that have done before. I really want to see something new. Something that hasn't really been attempted before. Like, for example, right off the top of my head, combining, I don't know, a 3D platformer with survival horror. Like, it might not work, it probably won't work, but at the very least, it'll be interesting, it'll be new, it'll be unique. And I don't think it should be unique for the sake of being unique, but you can only do the same thing again and again for so long before it gets old and stale and boring. And lately, video games have kind of made me bored. You know, you can play the new ones, but if they're only replicating the old ones, you're not getting anything new. And if you're playing the old ones, well, you're playing the old ones and you're not getting anything new. Unless you play some out-there experiences that were only done maybe once. And, sorry if I pause occasionally. Like I said, this isn't a Let's Play, and it's just, the goal is me to get to the end. I'm not exactly trying to make this the most entertaining thing possible. It's proof. It's proof. 100% proof that I can do this. And yes, I am the person who plays Spyro always holding down the charge button. I've always done it, and I always will do it. Unless a specific moment requires me not to do it, like certain jumps. It's just how I play the game. Even though sometimes it nearly kills me. Let's see. This level's a little bit long. How can I be running out of things to talk about already? Let's see, I'm trying to think of the most unique game that I've played in the last forever. And I'm having a really hard time coming up with anything. Like, I mean, it's probably odd that I'm saying it playing Spyro, which is not very unique. It doesn't pretend to be very unique. It's a platformer, plain and simple. And platformers had been done prior, and they were done a lot. Let's see, there's that gem. Yeah. Every platforming nightmare is... The game is still amazingly fun, you know, unique or not. And the game definitely manages to stand out more and more as the series goes on. Where the fuck is it? See, this is why I'm not a speedrunner. Like, this exact reason. I would be absolute shit at it. How did I miss this? Alright, let's keep going. I love using this cannon even though it's slow as shit. And sometimes it can be clunky like that. It's just so satisfying to blow shit up. I missed the big target. Wow. Come on, come on, turn, turn. And night flight. As a kid, I absolutely hated the flight levels. They were the last thing that I completed. You know, I completed 100% every single level before I did pretty much any of these, with the exception of this one. Night flight is, for some reason, the easiest flight in the game. Crystal flight, the next one, is the hardest. But we will deal with that soon. Crystal flight is probably my least favorite level in the game. It's either that or Misty Bog. Both are kind of bullshit. But for different reasons. And yes, believe it or not, my least favorite level is not Treetops. I actually kinda like it. Once you figure out how to get to the thieves, the level can be really fun. And I really like how it uses the mechanics. Spyro the Dragon isn't a very complex game. It's not trying to be, and you know what? That's just fine. Some of the best games in history are not very complex. And that's actually the reason for their greatness. Like, for example, Tetris. Tetris is considered to be one of the greatest puzzle games of all time, and it is not complex at all. I mean, you can get very complex, and you can do some complex things, but that's on the player. The actual game is basically falling bricks, you get 4 lines, they go down. Don't make the thing get to the top. It's a good thing to remember if you're like a developer or something. A game does not have to be very complex to be good. The original Super Mario Bros. Is not very complex. The original Crash Bandicoot is not very complex. There are only a few simple mechanics that they do more and more with as the game goes on. That is basically how most franchises start. They work really well with as few mechanics as possible. And, for example, Spyro 1 doesn't have many mechanics. Even the power-ups, Supercharging and Super Flame, they're extensions to Spyro's natural abilities. He doesn't get things like invulnerability until the second one. Alright, to Dry Canyon, probably my least favorite level of this. Some of the Peacekeepers levels are kind of obtuse to 100% complete. Like, if you can't figure them out, don't feel too bad. Some of the stuff is hidden really well, which is odd for so early in the game. I mean, if you're just getting through it and trying to get the 1200 treasure you need to get through, it's not that bad. But finding everything, like the last level, the non-speedway flight level that I completed, 100% was Cliff Town. Like, I remember that distinctly. And I actually 100% completed the second game before this one. even though I obviously had this game before I had the second game. There are a lot of odd things I remember. And we're gonna save you. Conan the Barbarian. We want to go this way first to get the key. Ow. You didn't even touch me. I just realized that I have over 1,200 games to go. Even if you condense all the sports bullshit, it's still over 1,200 games left to go. And suddenly he stood there, realizing that he may have made a grave mistake, or some kind of subtle miscalculation in his life's efforts and ambitions. Okay, yeah, see, this is how you get over here and get the key. Maximus. And the last dragon... What the hell? The last dragon that I saved was at Haunted Towers. Yeah, I can remember that, but I can't remember to have a consistent upload schedule. Or what I had for breakfast this morning. The memory is a bizarre creation. Go. Surprised I haven't gotten any lag spikes like I did when I recorded the Zelda thing. I don't want to jinx it though, but I'm surprised. We're already 28 for 40. With dragons, the game kind of front loads them. There are less and less as you go on. Alright, to get through the Beast Makers, you need 50 dragons, and you can only have 48 by the time you even get there. I'd assume to speedrun this game, you'd 100% complete the earlier levels, at least for dragons, and then for the later ones, go after their gems. Because the levels start including more and more gems as they include less and less dragons. And by the end of this, we're going to have over 30 lives. It is almost 4 a.m., and that means that I have been at this 45 minutes, which is probably good time. Not for actual, like, real-life speedrunners or anything, but for me. I am not... yeah, I'm not gonna make it. What is my fastest time ever with this game? I do not know. I haven't really experimented with that. As you might imagine, it probably isn't an impressive time at all. You know, unless you're new to the Spyro series and you don't know where anything is. I do hate these long glides. Sometimes it really feels like the developers don't know exactly how far Spyro can go, and so you get some annoying as hell jumps that you always seem to undershoot. This isn't one of them, but it comes close, and I can see a lot of people missing it. Even with that death and probably many others, we're still gonna have over 30 lives by the end of this. I can guarantee that. Hey, at least I'm not dead, even though I'd rather be than here. It's not a very long level, it's mostly a circle. But yes, this bullshit here and accidentally falling off is probably why Dry Canyon is my least favorite Peacekeepers level. Blue gem. Yeah, I'm gonna rant about that. So, in this game, there are different colors for gems. Everyone can agree that the red gems are worth 1, or the 1 gems are worth red. The gems that are worth 1 are red. The gems that are worth 2 are green. But everyone always calls the gems that are worth 5 purple gems, and the gems that are worth 25 magenta. Even though to me it has always been clear that the 5 gems are blue, and the 25 are purple. And I don't know, maybe I have some sort of... maybe I'm colorblind in a certain way, I don't know. But I can always see these gems as blue. This is like a very actually deep shade of blue that looks nothing like purple to me. Spyro himself is purple. That is clear. Spyro is purple. Although not the most purpley purple ever. He ends up looking more purple in the later games. Yeah, the blue gems don't look purple in any way whatsoever. This thief, he is also blue, but a lighter shade of blue. And those gems over there are quite easy to miss. Halvor. Alright. I do like this stage, especially the music. The music in this stage is really good. Although, in the later Spyro games, I do think that the music is more fitting of the levels. And the music here really stands out because the graphics aren't doing too much work. I mean, they are. This looks a lot better than a lot of other PlayStation games. Like, especially the ones that try to go for a realistic look. Or a pseudo-realistic look. For example, Intelligent Cube. The guy basically looks... Many PlayStation 1 people and things look obviously like polygons. This game, at the very least, tries to hide it a little bit. With a nice cartoony atmosphere. Spyro 2 and 3 obviously look much better. The quality is much more noticeable. But this, it doesn't look bad. Only in comparison to the other Spyro games. It's much, much better than many, many other PlayStation games in the graphics department, though. I see. That's what gritty realism gets you. It gets you shit in 5 years. Then again, it's when you try to render shit, don't be surprised when it ends up looking like shit. That's what I have to say about gritty realism. But when you render something bright and colorful, it ends up looking bright and colorful. I already got everything. Okay. This is the only part about the level I don't like. It's just another open field of nothing. And yeah, at times this game can feel either very empty or very much like a linear hallway. These levels could have used a lot more geometry, a lot more things going on. Which is definitely rectified in Spyro 2 and 3, which is one of the reasons that I do prefer them. The levels feel more real, like actual people are doing actual things. Marco!
You've reached...
Shut up. And let's collect stuff on the roof. Up we go. Now, the gems over here are the last non-flight thing that I collected in the game. Quite fitting that it kind of ended with a purple gem. Okay, exit the level. And yes, they are purple. I will hold that to the day that I die. The gems in this game are red, green, blue, yellow, and purple. Oh, there's another thing I missed. Hopefully it's the last set of gems that I need in this level. Usually I complete the entire homeworld before I go into other levels. And because it's easy to forget what you have and haven't done in them. But if you want to go faster, yeah, you gotta kind of cut the homeworlds up. Now, Dr. Shemp is the hardest boss in the game. I say this because the original Spyro has the easiest, most non-threatening bosses in video game history. The bosses in this game are weak and terrible. Like, I'm not even gonna argue that. I say that this boss is the hardest one in the game because he's the only one who actually managed to, like, hit me. When I was a kid, I didn't even know this game had bosses. I thought they were just, you know, I guess guys. The only thing that distinguishes these levels as boss levels is that they're smaller and they don't have fodder. This is terrible enemy placement, by the way. She will just launch you into nothing. Okay, this is one of the more annoying jumps in the game. Jump. Make sure you press X at the top of your jump or you're gonna die. And you get the key. Also, this guy kind of looks like he should be the mascot for Sunny D. Or maybe Capri Sun. That's all I think about whenever I see him. Oh yeah, one thing important to play this game, you gotta learn how to tap the square button, so you don't go flying off when you need to charge something. Let's see, it didn't leave any gems behind. Even when you're trying to be quick, it's sometimes good to double check. Let's take this guy out. Ow. See, he managed to hit me. It's a good thing these basically exactly the same thing as Papu from Crash Bandicoot, or I'd never know how to beat him. Fuck. I hate when this happens. Dodge it. Please be nearby. It's gotta be somewhere. No. Okay, into the ink. Or I guess tar, we're in a desert. Fuck it, I say it's ink. If I say it's ink, it's ink. Hey, it's up here for some fucking reason. Alright, now let's get the 11 gems that are hidden here somewhere. And then we're done with the peacekeepers, which is excellent. This is one of the levels lower on my list, this world. My least favorite is Beast Makers. I think that's everyone's least favorite, because it can be absurdly difficult at times, compared to the rest of the game at least. But my biggest complaint with it is that it's just butt ugly. The desert here kind of looks bland, but it's okay. It's a desert. It's functional as a desert. But the Beastmakers is this butt-ugly swamp sandwiched in between two bright and vibrant other worlds. Which makes it really contrasting and really noticeable. Alright, let's get out of here. Go to the Magic Crafters, open up a Mountain Dew. And yes, that's what I'm drinking, if you're wondering. It is my favorite drink, and it's probably going to kill me someday. This is not a sponsored video. And this is the most bullshit thief in the game. Magic Crafters is just awesome. I love the colors, I love the music, I love the concepts. The druids can get annoying, but I think they build into the charm. And let's go to Alpine Ridge. This level's okay. It's in the middle for me. Sorry about that, I'm trying to get comfortable. That, by the way, is the worst enemy placement in the entire game. You have to charge at her, but she's in a specific spot where you can't charge at her. She's also, her attack will also launch you off the edge if she hits you. At least they make a satisfying sound when they die. You know what I really like about the PlayStation? That it seems to be like one of the only for all ages systems that has ever existed. I mean, the other systems, and pretty much every system to date, has either been like marketed towards families and kids or marketed straight to adults. And while there are definitely like adult games on the GameCube and Wii, and there have been kids games on, say, Xbox, it's very clear who the systems are marketed to. The original PlayStation, though, it's a console that tried to be for everybody. You know, there are kids games, there are adult games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and there are games for teenagers like Tomb Raider. I get it that, you know, target audience is important for marketing, and it's good business sense, and common conventional wisdom, and intuition, but sometimes you do have to break away from that. For example, it was common wisdom that video games were dead in North America before the NES came here. And Nintendo broke away from that, and look where we are now. I mean, it was common wisdom that graphics would win you the console war. But, the Wii won. Sorry, I had a brain fart. It was common knowledge that the more bits your system had, the better it was. But the PlayStation beats the Nintendo 64 despite being only 32-bit. Common and conventional wisdom is being beaten all the time. And while it's true to listen to the lessons of the past, it's a good thing. Sometimes you need to strike it out on your own, or do something that seems counterintuitive, if you really want to succeed. Not everything makes sense, especially to suits. People are strange and no one can really predict trends. Or where the hell Insomniac comes up with these names. Up we go. This level has fireworks. I love the fireworks. I really wish they came back. I think they do in 3, but only briefly. There's just nothing more satisfying than launching one of them and seeing a bunch of gems basically explode into a room. Oh yeah, the second game has those bottle rocket things. Which I guess is close. Oh yeah, but then there's bullshit like this. This'll be fun. Kelvin. That's not how you spell Kevin or Calvin. Decide on a name and stick with it. You can only have one. Alright, good. You should have 480 when you try to do this. Not plunge into not plunge down into the depths, but make sure the camera's affixed to the next platform before you go. And yeah, I'm so badass I can fly away from the camera and actually still make my mark. That's how much I know this game. It's still stupid to fly without a camera, but... $500 treasure. We're getting there. 3,500 out of... Well, I guess functionally there's 1,200 in the game. We're about a third of the way there. I accomplished what I set out to do. I have no qualms. Now, the next level we'll be tackling, High Caves, kind of freaked me out when I was younger. There's something about invulnerable enemies that, I don't know, just always got to me. Things you couldn't kill. Or even really get away from. What's so funny? Do I have something on my face? Fuck you. I just love it how they laugh at you when you're on their side of the wall. This game has a lot of humor. I will definitely give it that. I don't know if all of it's intentional, but... Alright, High Caves. Let's do this. Perhaps I should get a chair far less squeaky. Yeah, these things, they always freaked me out as a kid. The wind. Bye-bye, wizard. Oh. Okay. Ha. Cyrus! Finally, we have found the one person in this game with a real name. Alright, time to go after the druids. Nope, 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 nope. I swear I'm good at this game. It's the Let's Play curse, even though this technically isn't a Let's Play, as I keep saying. Magic Crafters just looks so beautiful. I love wizard and magic aesthetic. And this level is a great way to introduce the supercharge. is 4:25 right now. It's been over an hour into the game. And we have half of the dragons. Excellent. I don't think that exactly means we're halfway through the game, but... There are 6 worlds in this game. Just gotta keep that in mind. Artisans, peacekeepers, magic crafters, basemakers, dreamweavers, nastics. Okay. The reason the counter is so biased towards earlier levels is because Nasty's world only has 6 dragons. Oh, fuck. Gotcha. Plunge into the depths. Also, my throat is kind of sore. I've been doing a lot of talking lately. I do a review series where I look at cartoon episodes. Sometimes it requires me to shout, or not requires, I guess I do that a lot. And sometimes it's just a review that makes me put weird inflections into my voice. And yesterday, yeah, I had a lot of weird inflections. It's not important. Just know that I'm not talkative very much. I'm trying to take it slow. I mean, wisdom would probably say that I shouldn't be talking at all or not doing this today, but considering that I have almost 1,300 games to go, if I don't get started now, I'm going to die before this is accomplished. Okay, I know where the remaining stuff is. We must conquer a childhood fear and go after the spiders. Okay. Ow. Yeah, they can be kind of relentless and quick. Which, trust me, doesn't help the fear at all. I'm not afraid of them anymore, they're just derpy. Kill him. Alright, let's get some fire breath all up in here. This game really should have utilized the fire breath more. I think it only appears in 2 levels. I mean, the second game really does make up for it, but still. Let's go and bash the final spider. Okay, let's get out of here. And boom. Now, I don't want to go into Crystal Flight right away, because I want to do the fucking key thing. Get the key, and we can go back easily. And a tree in the way. Let's see. What haven't I talked about? Let's see. I know this might be biasing the results of what game I'm probably going to play after Crash, but I guess I'll be forward with my least favorites and my most favorite game. My most favorite game on the PlayStation 1, my most favorite, probably one of the later two Spyros, although there are many different options. Like, you got Medieval, you got Gex 2 or 3, Crash Bandicoot, Ape Escape. It honestly is very hard for me to tell. I'd probably go with Intelligent Cube, though, if I absolutely had to pick. My least favorite is much easier. My least favorite is Cyberdeck. It is... Look, if you think that Bubsy 3D is the worst non-licensed game on the PlayStation, hell, if you think Rascal is, you have been deceived. There is no comparison to the horror that is Cyberdeck. In fact, like, my biggest request for... It's kind of would be... I think it might be a little bit tacky to, you know, request things of other reviewers, considering, you know, my own stance on requests, but... That is one game that I would like the AVGN to take a look at. my biggest request of him would probably actually be, 8 Eyes on the NES, though. That is my least favorite game of all time. But, you know, I'm not the requesting type. He can do what he can do. Oh, good, got it. That one is always a little bit tough. And that's Crystal Flight, first try. Sometimes it takes me a little bit of extra tries because I tend to actually do things in the wrong order. I go from arches to chests, and then everything screws up. Oh, I forgot the... Hilarious. And we go down. Into Wizard's Peak. This is probably one of my favorite levels in the game. Like, this is the level that I think about when I think the original Spyro. The tone, the music, every little thing about it. So let's go this way. It's definitely one of the more complicated levels. You just see these floating pillars in the distance, and you wonder how the game expects you to get to them. It's just a thrilling experience. Over here, I'll kill you. Kill the wizards, kill the imps, kill everything. How did he hit me? That glide I almost missed. Wow. need to blink more. You remember when video game manuals told you to, like, take a break from playing every hour or so? Yeah, I've never heeded their advice. Maybe I should have. Did anyone ever heed their advice? You know, when their parents didn't tell them to? Like, honestly, who would do that? You're in the middle of a game. You want to keep going. You want to see it to the end. Who the fuck cares that you got school? You want to see the game to the end. And until you rage quit. Yeah, you missed me. Now this right here is probably my favorite part of the game. Just basically wizard bowling. Bash a wizard. And we do this. Flying. And definitely here's one of the more annoying thief placements. Luckily, we don't have to worry about eggs after magic rafters. Which tells me that the developers didn't much like the egg mechanic either, considering they drop it about halfway through the game. There are still thieves later on, but nothing like you deal with here. Okay, so onward goes a wizard. As it goes through, you just... I think it stops all of the other ones from animating, or either that they do it automatically. Hexes. Is that a hex-shaped nexus? Let's bash some wizards. Alright, now this part. And we're here. That's how you get up here. And honestly, I think we're making some really good time. Started playing at 3:15, it's almost an hour and a half, and we're halfway through the game. Probably not the best time, it's not going to break a world record or anything. But... Nah, I'm not interested in going for world records. It's one thing to make up a challenge and do that, it's another thing to be better than everyone else on the planet. Lucas. Alright, all we gotta do left in Magic Crafters is fight the boss, Blowhard. Yeah, Blowhard. He was one of those... As a kid, I had no idea the implications of that, and it gave the adults in my life vast amounts of amusement. Because his name is fucking Blowhard. The 90s were truly a more innocent time. Actually, no, I don't think so. I just think that there weren't actually many censors on the PlayStation. Okay, good. Homeworld's done. Confronting Blowhard. Oh yeah, back in the 90s, Blowhard actually did mean something different. It basically meant hothead. Someone who blows a lot of hot air. But nowadays it doesn't mean what it used to mean. My childhood. There are some games I'm really going to be excited to get to revisit. And there's no reason I couldn't do it on my own, but I don't know, I'd like to see some video evidence, and I'd like to record something so I can go back to it anytime that I personally wanted. Because, I don't know, might not have the ability to play these games forever. I mean, emulators are probably always going to exist, but my ability to play is probably not. I'm only 25 about, and my health is already going in strange places. When I was 21, I didn't need glasses to see far away. My body didn't want to explode. Getting older sucks. Like, despite what kids sometimes think, growing up just sucks. Your body goes crazy at puberty, and it never stops. Like, you want to take your body into therapy to stop it from hurting itself. Seriously. And as you can see, I am without sparks, so manual pickup for me. Or dead. Yeah, dead. I don't need your fucking... Ow. But, going back to that, games revisiting, there are also some things that I am excited to show other people, so I think that they'll enjoy. Games like, Creatures, for instance. That's an underrated gem. The PC version is probably much, much better. But Creatures is the type of game that needs much more love. It's a very impressive little thing. And there are actually 2 Creatures games on the PlayStation that I get to enjoy. Don't you dare zap at me! Okay, onward to Beastmakers. Made it to Beastmakers at exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes. That is fortunate. Now, I think the second half of the game goes by a lot quicker if you know what you're doing. It's just stuff that's harder to figure out. Although there is some timing shit, like with the electric guys. Jump. Got zapped anyway, damn it. There are things behind you. On to Terrace Village, the only Beastmaker's level I can stomach. Actually, Wild Flight and the boss Metalhead are pretty fun. Wild Flight because it's such a contrast to this ugly palette. I get that it's a swamp and you want to make it look ugly, but come on, it just looks... The swamps in the other games look fine. There is a swamp in the third game. Hell, the swamp in A Hero's Tale look better. And I don't just mean graphically, I mean aesthetically. Aesthetics is different than graphics. And you can have good aesthetics no matter what your graphical capabilities are. Well, actually, there's a limit. You can't exactly make an Atari 2600 game look very stellar. You can't make it look much more than stick figures. I'm sure there's some exceptions somewhere, but that's the general rule of thumb. And over here there's nothing. There's background noise that I hope that doesn't show up, because I don't want to have to record this a third time. That would be detrimental to my psyche and my happiness. But the other times that particular background noise has gone off, I don't think it's interrupted recording. And I think it stopped. Yeah, it stopped. I'm in a weird moment where you hear a continuous noise, but then it stops, but because you're used to hearing it, you still think you hear it. Which is not good. It's annoying. But yeah, now that we're in Beastmakers, the game gets a little bit challenging. Especially if you're going for 100%. Like, sometimes I just almost completely skip Beastmakers, except for this level, because it's not the best part of the game. You get zapped a lot. You need 50 dragons to get through, and that's all the dragons you need to beat the game, and I probably have enough gems to do it too, to get through Dreamweavers, because, believe it or not, I don't actually know how many gems you need to get through Dreamweavers, because I've always had enough as soon as I entered the world. But Dreamweavers is really fun, so I go through it anyway. This level is, like I said, it's alright. It's not exactly special. These metal guys make extremely satisfying sounds, though. It's a simple and straightforward level. The only one of the 3 Beastmakers levels that you get that's straightforward. Even the boss level isn't very straightforward. Just make sure you have good timing and you'll be fine here. My timing has been kind of off for some reason. And there's always that. Remember to press X at the top of your jump. That is the rule. X at the top of your jump. Gotta remember Hunter's advice before Hunter exists. Camera getting stuck on the walls. Why is it always impossible to program cameras in 3D platformers? Like, other genres, like first-person shooters and the horror games, they don't seem to have this problem. And then again, I guess fixed cameras in survival horror does fix a lot of the problems. And first-person shooters are... You know what, even third-person shooters don't have this problem. It's just 3D platformers. The camera always gets stuck on walls and shit. Or it can't go through as if there was physically a camera thing. Then again, I don't know much about actual programming. Maybe there really does need to be an actual physical camera entity. At least Mario 64 had the decency to actually show that entity. It's definitely interesting to see how developers get around limitations of their respective consoles. Because as far as I can tell, a lot of programming, a lot of game design, creativity in general is basically finding ways to work around what you can't do. Tricking simpler mechanics and engines into doing more and more things. Like, for example, you can't control a 3D camera well, just do what Crash Bandicoot do and make it fixed. Make Crash go one way. None of these open environments. Let's see. I hope this is all of them. Yep, this is all of them. I can do math in my head quickly. Alright, are you guys ready for the fun levels? And I'm probably gonna hit Wild Flight next, and that's not too bad. Bruno! Another real name. How fascinating. Mystic Bog. I don't like this level. As a kid, this level freaked me out because... Actually, yeah, this is my least favorite level in the game. It doesn't freak me out anymore, but the plant things that start shaking violently when you get close to them, and then they fucking eat you, or at least try to. They don't just eat you, they swallow you up, chew you up, and spit you out. These things. Oh yeah, and also, even as an adult, there are the frogs. Look at their eyes. Even the frogs today are a pain in the ass. I still can't get through this level without taking any damage. You need to have really good timing to fight these things without taking damage. If I was a fraction of a second later, it would have hit me. I got lucky there. Let's see. These things aren't bad. You still need to have pretty good timing to not get eaten, but... nowhere near as bad as the frogs. Roscoe. And we are at 50. We're making good progress. After this, I'm not going to be able to talk for like a week. I gotta stop pushing myself in crazy directions or I'm going to get hurt. Now, sometimes I push myself too far. Hey, let's walk 5 miles one day. And I'm surprised when my leg twists in a weird way and I have a hard time walking for a week. It's no joke that I am a very eccentric person. Like, I am very aware of that. I am strange. But I'm not strange in all of the bad ways. By the way, this hallway here, this fucking hallway, like, as a kid, for me, this is basically the equivalent of seeing Pyramid Head just standing at you and staring, because all these fucking frogs, it is bullshit. Yeah. You will die. If you can get through here without getting hurt, good on you. And there's only like 3 pieces of fodder in this entire level. I'll try to fly over them, see how that works. It doesn't. Gotcha. Making it even worse is all these fucking armor dudes standing here. Okay, it should be easy. Simple. Oh, ew. And let's free our dragon friend. Then I am going to die on purpose because I don't want to live in a world without sparks. Maybe we're not going to have 30 lives by the end of this, I don't know. Great, I feel like I got like a lump or a sea urchin in my throat. I've been talking so much. I'm definitely going to be a little bit more quiet as we go along. And yes, I am drinking lots of fluids. Technically, I should be drinking water for endurance, but the caffeine addiction is strong in this one. Frogs. At least the bulls take care of them. The time is now 5 a.m. I have been playing for 2 hours. I'm making a great time. This might be a personal best. I wouldn't really know, but besides the frogs, I guess this level isn't too bad. It's definitely the least ugly of the Beastmaker's levels, if you don't count Wild Flight. Wild Flight actually looks really good. I'm surprised it's even in this world at all. Bubba.
I'll tell you what.
What was so innocuous at one point in our lives. Getting older changes your perspectives on the world. Alright, this jump is also a little bit of bullshit. I don't think I can really do it without getting hit a little. Yeah. As long as I get up the rest of the way without getting hit, we're fine. Oh, this will be fun. There is nothing more satisfying than just plowing through a row of these guys. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't register that you collected a gem until a second later. Here comes the coughing. Cletus. I wonder if he knows of a certain rapping shark. Okay, there's that's a really bullshit enemy placement. Alright. Let's take on Wild Flight. Definitely one of the better flight levels. For me, it's the highlight of the Peacemakers. And again, that's not an incredibly hard thing to manage. My advice here is to not go for the boats and the Artisan tandem. Just go for one and then go for the other. It might seem like it'll take you a little longer, but it'll prevent you from crashing, and that's the biggest issue here, not the time limit. Crashing. Now the planes and the chests you should get in tandem. And as always, go in the opposite direction of which the vehicles are going for speed. Yeah, see, I have plenty of time. You're not going to run out of time here. If you know the correct order. That was a close one, wasn't it? No. Why does it default to yes after you completed it? Why would I want to play it again? We're almost at the halfway point in treasure, which is good. And now we head to everyone's favorite stage, Treetops. Treetops is infamous as the hardest level in the first 3 Spyro games. I don't think that's entirely true. It's been a while since I played Spyro 3. I'm pretty sure there's a level 2 in there that's harder. And personally, Skelos Badlands is I find harder, especially with the fucking dinosaur things. Treetops, if you know what you're doing, is a really fun level. Be on the ready as soon as you enter. And follow the thief. My god, follow the thief. I believe that's exactly what they expect you to do. If you lose track of him, exit the level and start again, and do not attack him. You see, I'm being a little precarious by going after... Usually the thief tends to stop here. Lyle. Okay, go. This is very difficult to figure out without the thief, so... I think I did it like once, a long time ago. And no, this actually wasn't the last dragon I found. The last dragon I found is in Haunted Towers, on my first playthroughs. Yeah, hopefully I'm not dying already. We could exit the stage and start over, but since I got the key, pushing forward is probably the best option. And the rest of this will not take very long. Music here is really good. It definitely is the kind of stuff you should be listening to when you're on a supercharge. And I really do love the concept of this episode. Why do I keep saying episode? This level. Just platforms built into treetops. That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, you know, somebody made this entire level, they remade it in Gmod, and they remade it as an item that you can summon in another level. I would recommend not doing that because it will make Gmod crash. It's not the most impressive thing I've seen in Gmod. That would probably be someone remaking pretty much the entirety of the map of Ocarina of Time as a level, minus most of the dungeons. Now that hit me with a nostalgia bomb in a strange way. Okay. Now there's another thief in this level, the red one, that's much easier to figure out. And I don't need to follow it. And we go this way, this will take us back to the beginning of the level. Gotta go this way and collect everything I missed. Alright. You. Collect the extra life. Maybe we will hit 30 by the end of this. Like, we're almost done. Nasty's world doesn't take very long at all. even though it has the only levels that you're kind of forced to go through. The Treetops, it actually feels like someone, you know, lives here. This is one of the few levels that feels like more is going on than just what you're experiencing, which is definitely great level design. You know, levels shouldn't feel like they just exist for the purpose of being in a game. The best levels, towns, whatever, are more than that. They exist within their own worlds. And it's definitely why Spyro 2 and 3 feel a lot better than Spyro 1 in hindsight.
Spyro.
Okay, so you go this way. You steer, you jump. Really simple stuff. And yes, I figured this all out before I had access to guides and stuff. And that's not entirely true. It's back before I had consistent internet access. If I wanted a guidebook, I would actually have to buy the guidebook from, like, Prima and such. And Prima is... it's not very good guides. They frequently have factual errors. Like, in the guide for Majora's Mask, they tell you to use... In the Water Temple, they tell you to use the Song of Time to warp you back to the beginning of the level. The Song of Time makes you restart the entire cycle and puts you back at Clock Town, restarting the entire dungeon. It's the Song of Soaring that takes you back to the beginning of a dungeon. And I've noticed, like, there were definitely errors that I could point out as a kid, finding things on my own. Like, the Prima guide for Silent Hill doesn't know where the hammer is in the basement of the hospital. Ape Escape, they tell you you need a Skyflyer for level 3, I think, when you don't. And I'm pretty sure you can find a factual error in just about every single one of their books. Alright, 22 lives, good. My throat. I'm gonna turn into a frog. Nope, didn't make it. Alright, let's go after Metalhead, because he's a metalhead, 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 metalhead. You remember what I was talking about with you'll always regret the things you never tried more than the things you attempt and fail? Well, yeah, I never attempted to actually hardcore get singing lessons, and I regret that basically every day. It's surprising how much I actually want to sing with skill, and it's a skill that I do not have. Ah, no, no, no. I mean, the human voice is an amazing tool, and it should never be underrated. But it does need a bit of training to use it properly. I tried to self-teach myself singing on a couple of occasions, and no, I don't even want to attempt it right now because of my throat. And yes, I don't need to play all these games in one sitting, but I'm just gonna leave it at but. there are some games that it would be impossible to play in one sitting, like many RPGs. If I played them in one sitting, I would die of exhaustion. That's not even joking. Like, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! False-Bound Memories is the longest at hundreds of hours. I am already not looking forward to just battling Simon Meringue 1,000 times to get a code. He didn't drop anything. And no, I don't think you can obtain every card in the game. We'll talk about that one when we get to it. We will talk about that one. It is one of my least favorite games of all time. Like, I mean, there is some enjoyment you can get out of it, but it's one of those bigger disappointment kind of deals. I think it was like the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Game released in the United States, and the one on the Game Boy Color is a much better game. A much better Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. It has more complicated programming, and you can do more. Like, the PlayStation game, their monsters don't have any effects, which they figured out on the Game Boy. You can only play one card a turn. The rules aren't even the same as actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Based on prototype rules. Which is fantastic. And not to mention, it's a grind fest. It is just the most grind-happy thing you will ever come across. Also, every match is basically luck-based. We will deal with that when we deal with that. Right now we're doing easy and fun games. Then maybe we'll do fun and hard games. Oh. Metalhead's dead. Okay, now we have to deal with one of the more annoying glides in the game. For future reference, to get to the other side, what you gotta do is press X at the top of your jump and do not charge. Charging will cut your jump short. And even still, it's annoying. The time is now 5:20. I have been playing for an hour and 2 hours and 5 minutes. Which is definitely a good time. I am definitely curious to see how fast I can complete the game. It's definitely looking like I will be done in under 4 hours. And if my child self could see that, or realistically any portion of my life, he'd be dumbfounded. Just thinking about that is crazy. Like, where my life is now and everything I thought growing up. The shy kid who never talks to anyone. Come on. This is probably the most tricky jump in the game, and I am so glad it's not over a bottomless pit. If that was the case, then yes, game over might actually be a possibility. Okay, let's finish Peacemakers. This glide is also pretty annoying. Peacemakers has the worst glides in the game. Like, not even Nasty's World has some of these annoying-ass glides. No. I thought I had one. Whatever. Wait, why am I back? Whatever. Please be only one left. That is fine. Okay, I'm missing a yellow gem somewhere. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, there are two blue ones, I guess. Alright, Beastmakers has been completed at 2 hours and 8 minutes. 2 worlds to go. One is really short. Dreamweavers is fun. Better than this ugly-ass swamp, that's for damn sure. So bright and vibrant, it feels like morning. Some of the sound effects in this game are just amazing. Alright, the first level we get to tackle is Haunted Towers, which, like Treetops, it gets a pretty bum rap. It has some obtuse things and very hidden gems that are hard to come by. But if you know what you're doing, this level's fun. One of the only 2 levels in the game that lets you use Super Fire. Why would you use a wooden shield in a land of fire-breathing dragons? That just seems like bad planning. I'm going to kill all of these. So next time we're doing Crash Bandicoot, which I think is shorter if you don't die a lot, but you know, it's Crash Bandicoot, you're gonna die a lot. It's not as hard as Dark Souls, but it's definitely not the easiest game in the world. It's definitely harder than the Spyro games. But I think that's fun because the Spyro is a little bit too easy for its own good, just a little bit. The difficulty comes in not missing certain gems, and I would have been damned if I forgot something at the beginning of the level. Kosoko. Let's see. Another extra life. And fire breath, let's go. Damn it, didn't make it in time. Go. Okay. Now we move on to the next part of the level. Also, I love how it's called Haunted Towers, but there's only like one tower. It's not really very haunted. There are some wizards that animate armor. Okay.
Hold your...
2 hours, 13 minutes, we have 3/4 of all the dragons. Alright, now we get to do the bullshit of Haunted Towers. A lot of people miss this because it's not even, like, hinted at. You ready? Let's do this. I will show you the secrets of Haunted Towers, if I don't bump into the wall again. Around, and then this uses a ramp, and voila. Welcome to the secret part of Haunted Towers. And the last dragon of the game that I ever discovered. Okay, in this room you gotta move. It also features a fairy that will give you permanent fire upgrade for this entire level. Because, It is awesome. As long as you're on Haunted Towers, the flame breath will never go away. I wish I could use my head as a mace. It would be very useful to my everyday life. And we drop on down. And we're back here. Let's see. Oh, I almost forgot something. God damn it. There's a metal chest that I tend to forget in this level. And the game is never hesitant to remind me. So I'm going to show you once again for the people who weren't listening the first time. Okay. You know, maybe it's a bad idea to use a grenade at an opponent that's right in front of you. Trust me, I know this based on personal experience. Haunted Tower's done. The other stages, especially Dark Passage, are very long. In fact, I think Dark Passage is the largest level in the game. Kinda too large for its own good, actually. Just gotta keep moving, and I will make it. Dark Passage. I do like this purple though, this nice violet, lavender. I don't know, mystic purples, they always look nice to me. Also, these turtles, if you jump at them while charging, they won't hit you. And these dog things are cute, especially the weird yipping noise they make. And the devils. So this level is essentially two very long hallways. It's hard to miss gems here, but if you do, it's annoying as hell. Ouch. Oh, I am missing sparks, yay. That is as easy. And we're gonna take a plunge. And I don't know why my game keeps trying to give me a seizure every time I die. that fireworks, though, it's slightly easy to miss. I'm just really a sucker for Dream World levels. I really wish they were in more games. There's just so much that you can do with them. I mean, technically you could do literally anything, but there's a certain aesthetic that comes with Dream Worlds. Floating islands, strange patterns, magical whatevers. It just all comes together very well. And I'm pretty sure that the Dreamweavers is probably one of the reasons why I like Dream World so much. My favorite Dream World is probably from Gauntlet Dark Legacy. That reminds me I got to play Gauntlet Legends, which is basically an inferior version of Gauntlet Dark Legacy. That doesn't have the Dream World. I mean, I get that Gauntlet Legends is a cult classic, but Dark Legacy is basically an updated port with more levels and characters, and updated graphics, and a superb soundtrack. Favorite video game soundtrack, bar none, Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Also, there's a glitch I like to show off every time I come here. This won't kill you ever. It's like a flat surface. It's not just the emulator or ROM, it's in the game. Obacy. 66. There are 14 dragons left. I don't know if I got all the gems down. Let me go down. Seems to be empty. Oh. Yeah, I put up a fight for nothing. It is about 5:40 and the sun is rising. Actually, it's just getting light. It's cloudy out, so I can't tell this. Alright, now we're back on the path. Like I said, this level is just basically 2 long hallways. Ow. Oh great, I'm out of sparks. Bakari. Come on, grab it. Grab it. Good, let's go. Mushroom, give me mushroom. Give me mushroom. What? Thank you. Like, what even? Why? Enemies in this level are just so weird. I get dreams and random, but why? Alright, on to Lofty Castle, which is probably it's probably my second favorite level in the game. Besides, Wizard's Peak. Latif. Wonder if I can finish this game in under 3 hours. We're coming up at the 2.5 hour mark, which is insane. Yeah, I challenge you to beat my time, whatever it may be. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. All you have to do is exactly what I'm doing without dying. I've died a little bit. Balloons. So strange that of all the enemies, those are the ones specifically that came back in A Hero's Tale. I liked A Hero's Tale. It's probably the best Spyro game after the original trilogy. It doesn't really line up with the originals, but it's still pretty good. One thing I don't like about it is that Spyro for some reason acts like an arrogant teenager instead of basically the child that he's been in previous games, even though no one else is aged. Yeah, that is definitely the one part about A Hero's Tale I don't like. Spyro's character warping so oddly. I mean, it's better than what they did to his character in design in Skylanders and such. Mutata! I should not be saying things like that when my voice is so sore. It hurts my throat dearly. We gotta go this way. This level's kind of roundabout. Huh, we will have 30 lives by the end of this. Cool. Let's go. It's all about timing. We are now at the 2.5 hour mark exactly. And we are at 70 dragons exactly. 10 more in the game. The only red whatchamacallit in the game. Which is good, because those things are annoying and tedious and pointless. That's one thing that the other Spyro games did much better, the containers. Still have to... All except for the question bottle. I hate the question bottles in Spyros 2 and 3. They're so pointless and annoying. This is the right way, right? No, wait, this is not the right way. This is the right way. For such a lofty castle, there's not much of a castle here. There's a little bit, but this level is better called Floating Islands. Actually, honestly, this level's probably better called Haunted Towers. Minus the, towers part, or minus the haunted part. Minus the towers part. Once again, why a wooden shield in a land of fire-breathing dragons? Coughing fit, yay. Come to think of it, metal armor would not be very good against fire. I mean, yes, technically it wouldn't burn, but you would be burned because metal conducts heat. My drink went down the wrong pipe. Ah, shit. Alright. Get through there. I can't do math quickly, so... Okay, good. Yeah, all of them. That's Lofty Castle done. I charged a big enemy. I broke the rules. Fuck you. Alright, let's go fight Jock. Yeah, that's the boss's name in the Land of Dreams. His name is just Jock. I don't know why. Yeah, I get it, Dreams. I love the aesthetic here, though. Although this was one of the last levels for me to complete 100%. I remember that clearly. Which is weird, being a boss level and all. The boss levels in this game are short and sweet. Minus the sweet. Let's complete this area first. Some gems are easy to miss if you take a certain pathway. Okay, flame this guy. That's important. are you? The Fools is definitely a very annoying mechanic. Okay, let me go up. Yeah, as a kid, this was very difficult to figure out. Even harder than Treetops. 72. Oh yeah, this is the only boss level with 2. Wait. Oh, there's Sparks. Thought you abandoned me, buddy. Alright, let's... It is possible to get all of these guys in one round, but it's a little bit difficult. Get the red gems. Hey, my throat is feeling a little better. Just can't be such a motor mouth, I guess. I really hope the recording comes through this time. It would be very... I know I've said this before, but it would be just heartbreaking if it didn't. If the audio was still unbalanced and my voice was completely unhearable over the game's music. I would not like that at all. I cough a lot today. Come on. Ha. No! Fuck you. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with these guys. Key. Yeah, I probably won't beat 3 hours, but I'm definitely gonna beat 4. Even with the unskippable cutscenes. Or the unskippable credits. That is one thing I don't like about PlayStation games. If you want to get 100%, you usually have to see the entire credits twice. One when you beat the final boss, and one when you get everything. It's actually very rare that you do both at the same time. Not that the credits in Spyro are exceedingly long. Also, this guy's, like, pathetic. Not as pathetic as Nasty Nork. Actually, you know what? Yeah, he's the most pathetic boss in the game. Like, I don't even know how he expects to hit you. You just charge at him and you go through his projectiles. And he runs from you! No, that's how he hits you, I guess. Burp, he's dead. Oh, that is not good. I am missing something. Fuck. Oh. And we have hit the 10,000 treasure mark. Just shy of 2 hours and 45 minutes. Probably not going to beat all of Dreamweaver's before then, but... whatever. All I got is the speedway. And it's the last speedway of the game, too. That's nice. Zikomo. That is all of the dragons in Dreamweavers. Which technically means that I freed all the dragons in the game. All that's left are the ones that get recaptured in Nasty's world. Which kind of makes them look like dumbasses, but whatever. That's all the gems in the home world. Yep. Okay. Final speedway, let's do this. Probably isn't the fastest way of doing this, but whatever, it's my way. In speedways, I think you have to try and stay low as much as possible. Where the fuck? What? I missed one. How did I miss? Okay, we gotta retry this. It is now 6 a.m. I have been playing for 2 hours and 45 minutes. This fight actually is pretty easy. I don't know what it has to do with dreams, but whatever. It's weird that all the fights have absolutely nothing to do with their respective worlds. I don't know, a dream-type fight would actually be pretty interesting. We're done. We're done with the flights. We're done with... We're done with Dreamweavers at 2 hours and 46 minutes. On to Nasty's World. I don't know if I could beat it in 14 minutes, but I will try. One thing that I like about this game is that, compared to the other two Spyros, is that it doesn't force backtracking. Like, in Spyro 2, the very first level, you need to have climbing, which you don't get until the second world. Here, with the exception of Nasty's homeworld, you can complete every single level the first time you come across it. I don't know if that makes the other games better or more interesting or whatever, but I don't know, I like it. I like it better this way. Just, I guess new abilities can put new perspectives on old levels, but for things like speedrunning and just completion, it feels better this way. You know, it's better to not have my gem counter at some random ass number when I go to other worlds. Alright, let's go. Entering North Cove. This level's pretty fun. Probably one of my favorites of the game. Yay, gems. More gems for everybody. Music here is just so perky. It does not strike me at all as the opening area of the guy who turned all of the dragons into crystal. In fact, none of these levels look anything like a junkyard. Which, I guess Nasty, despite his name, cleans up rather well. Good on him. Hello, Latif. Didn't I just free you 2 minutes ago? These guys don't attack very fast. Ow. Oh, gosh. Butterfly, we must feed Sparks. In the real world, do dragonflies eat butterflies? Seems an odd connection. Otherwise. I mean, something has to eat butterflies. Frogs eat butterflies. I'm sorry, my mind is a little... Like I said, I beat this game once earlier today, 100%. And this is the second time in one day that I am doing this. And It's been quite the long day. I dropped scissors on my foot, and I also ordered a pizza that never came. It has been a long day. Yes, I get all of the bad luck. It's just been one of those days, you know? The best part of this game is definitely hitting many enemies in succession. Thomas, I remember you from the beginning of the game. Going. It is not time yet. I'm trying to think of a new PSX game that I want to tackle, one that I've never played before. I don't know, there's a lot of games that I've never played before, even classics like Final Fantasy VII. I've never played that before. And from everything you hear about it, it's either the best game ever or the worst game ever. There's no in between. Which has made me very curious. But then again, it's a four disc epic, which might not be good to do early on in this. I'd rather stick to maybe one disc. I don't know, just RPGs seem to fascinate me in general, like Legend of Dragoon. The only PlayStation RPG I have played, though, is the Yu-Gi-Oh! One. It really shouldn't even be an RPG, but it is. I mean, you grind as much as in any RPG. Actually, no, you know what? I've played and beaten the original Dragon Warrior, and in that game you have to grind less than you do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Memories. I'm not even joking. Okay. In all of Nasty's worlds, you have to hit the home thing. Or else you'll have to go through the whole thing over again. Which I guess is the only way in game to require going to the next level. Twilight Harbor. This level's a bit easy to be the penultimate level. Like, you'd expect Nasty's World to have more levels like, say, Treetops. And I say that, and I die immediately. If it wasn't for the camera at the start, I would not have died. So yeah, I guess that's one death I can totally blame on the camera. But it's a PlayStation game. That's probably going to happen a lot. I am definitely going to hit all of the design quirks and flaws that were common of the era. I know we're gonna get a plethora of licensed 3D platformers that are just mediocre or terrible. We're gonna get bad frame rates, cheesy voice acting. Bad cameras. But hey, that's the era I picked. Every console has its thing. Like if I picked Wii, I would be dealing with a shit ton of shovelware. Not that the PlayStation is devoid of shovelware, it has a lot. But it's not the biggest culprit. That would probably be the original DS. Or the Wii. The Wii has a lot of shovelware. And bad motion controls. If I did NES, I'd be dealing with insanely difficult games that weren't really meant to be beaten. Like Silver Surfer. The Super Nintendo, I think, is pretty devoid of bullshit. I keep going back and forth between the PlayStation and the Super Nintendo as my favorite console of all time. I think the PlayStation has a wider variety of games, but the Super Nintendo is more consistent in quality. There's a lower percentage of bad games than there are on other consoles. Not that the Super Nintendo is devoid of its shack foos. And, that's the only game that really comes to mind is obscenely bad. Last supercharge we get in this game. Gotta blink more, gotta blink more. Why is it so easy to just forget to blink? Something that should be unconscious, and usually is unconscious, when you're watching a game, when you're watching a television show or playing a game. I normally don't have to think about blinking. It's automatically done every other time. But it's not done when I'm playing a game. Well, it is, just not as much. And I believe that's every last extra life in the game. Cool. Let's go defeat Nasty Nork. Kind of weird how there's only one drawbridge in the entire game. We do need to keep full health because towards the end of the stage there's no way to get through without getting hit by something. This is another level that I can't figure out how to get through without taking any damage whatsoever. Like the very last couple of Nork Commandos, they will get me every single time. And it is just about the 3-hour mark. Which isn't bad. Yeah, 3 hours. 3 hours exactly. Maybe if I was a little bit better, I could have made it under that mark, but whatever. Actually, no, with the end credits, it takes about 5 minutes. Alright. Time for one of the most anticlimactic final bosses in video game history. When they brought Nasty back for a Hero's Tale, he was harder as a first boss in that game than a last boss in this game. Which I guess is humorous. So I made it to Nasty Nork at 3 hours exact. 3 hours and 1 minute. At the start, this level just collect all of the gems before focusing on anything else. Can't come back to collect it later, so... Alright, now let's plunge the thief. Got him. Why are my eyes burning? I've had gaming sessions much longer than 3 hours in the past. That's the key. Now, if I didn't have to go through Nasty's loots, the game, or my time would end the second I defeat him. But, nah. In reality, my time ends the second I hit the home portal in Nasty's loot after I collect everything within it. Which is whatever. Like before we even think about chasing Nasty, we have to collect all of the treasure. At least Nasty Nork looks big and intimidating. That's all that's important, I guess. Okay, yeah, you should have 375. Good. Let us defeat him. And you should have 400 before going in here, where you gotta really move. This part of the game does not reward patience. Yes, I am pissed. Thank you for asking. Yeah, there are no checkpoints. Make sure you don't do what I did. I can still probably get through this before 3:15. We're at 3:05 now. I am using my computer's clock to keep track of that, so it's not down to the second. Like, it might not be exactly the same in the recording, because PlayStation games can lag if a lot of stuff is going on. I'm surprised that Fraps hasn't caused my emulator to lag at all during this. Considering what I had to go through with Link to the Past and its random bouts of lagging.
You're toast, Mork.
And credits 3 hours and 5 minutes.
So long. I kind of forgot about you.
What about Nasty Gnork?
Nasty Nork?
Can't skip this.
Toast.
So now there's order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
I'm gonna use the bathroom
Well,
always
mostly.
goes.
I still got some treasure to pick up.
What will you do next?
I'd say the sky's the limit.
No, I cannot skip the credits. Dialogue written by Peter Kleiner. He's the guy who wrote down, "Thank you for releasing me," about 17 times. Kelly Garner, Derek Power. Returning home. Last dragon of the game at 3 hours and 9 minutes. Onward to Nasty's loot. I have 6 minutes to complete this if I want to get to the time of 3:15. Which I don't know if I can do because this level's pretty compact. Just a lot of fucking treasure. And yes, when I say I want to complete every PlayStation game to 100%, it doesn't literally mean just 100%. Like, it just means get everything that I can. Hate thieves. Five minutes remaining. Sorry if I'm not talking much, it's been a long road. Where the fuck are you, next thief? Oh, I gotta go up this. What? Go faster, what the fuck? Pressure is definitely on. Yeah, now it's the annoying fucking plane parts that take me forever. I, for the life of me, do not know how to get these guys down easily. Especially the second plane. The second plane is just like bullshit. Where's the first plane? Where did he go? There he is. 3 minutes. Where is he? Seriously, where the fuck is he? There he is. And I'll follow him through the fucking pipes if that'll stop him from teleporting. Go faster, Spyro! Fuck, how did you win every speedway in the game if you're this fucking slow? Yeah, there's no way I'm going to hit the... There's still no way that I'm going to hit the 330 mark, or 315. Definitely gonna hit the 330 mark, but... Last plane. This is the most bullshit one. Yeah, I got 1 minute. There's no way I'm going to get every single gem in 60 seconds. Oh well, it was a good fight. A jolly good fight. Who put this pipe here? That's poor planning. Who put any of these pipes here? Oh, so there's... Okay, there's no fodder. That's... Yeah, we are now at the 2:15 mark. I mean, technically, if I can get it before the minute's over, I'm still... And if you're wondering, I started exactly at 3:15. Like, I waited for the clock to roll over and start recording. This is gonna be tedious bullshit without sparks, but whatever. I mean, I could plunge into the water below, but... Like, this is just funny to me. You go through all that trouble and you just get 10 gems. I mean, the reward is being able to fly higher, but whatever. But it's still just funny. But yeah, could you imagine if that after Nasty Nork Spyro just dies trying to grave rob him? This game is so much less satisfying playing without sparks. You have to run over things perfectly. And that's not always easy. Please be everything, please be everything, please be everything, please be everything. Got it. 3 hours and 17 minutes. And some change, I suppose. One game done. A bajillion more to go.
You've defeated Ganasty Gnorc,
Let's do it.
dragon eggs, saved all the dragons, and recovered